info he feeds back as well. I mean, he just has so much experience being an IGL himself that he knows what info he needs to relay back to Zero. And I think that's one of the big differences between this iteration of, Zero Gen +1 and the other previous versions of it, Vicky, is that, I think Zero really had to, force Zainu or Sykes to give him that information, whereas Hal does it automatically. He takes initiative. He knows where to go, what space to take, who needs to be put down when we have Falcons looking to take space. So it's just, it adds just this whole new dynamic, this whole new element to the team that has made them go from, one of the 2 top teams in the world to a very clear #1.
They're a very scary team, and that's why we keep harping on this, because it's just a level of competition you don't really get to see elsewhere, especially in a battle royale, right? You have RNG factors as an element here in a game like this, but you try to eliminate the RNG as much as possible with your decision on the POIs, your legend compositions, obviously, knowing where these beacons are more likely to spawn out here too. And it looks like you saw a little sneak peek there. It is. All right, that's kind of teasing us a little bit, but the circle will be pulling towards either No Name or even between No Name to Overlook. We've seen this circle plenty of times where, who knows, sometimes we've seen it pull towards the bins on the left side of Overlook, out on the outskirts of that ring console, or even towards No Name and north of No Name here, where Guild Esports could really take advantage of, since they have the Evil Harvester, but they don't have that ring beacon. They have it on the other side, actually. They have the Overlook here.
Guild do manage to grab that, so that's, it's going to be super useful information for them. This is exactly the kind of game that Guild likes to play, right? Like, zone, bam, straight there. It does make it a little bit harder because it means they don't really get much chance to grab Evo on the way. If you look at where the Evo Harvesters are placed, Vicky, there's one to the north, which would take them well out of their way in terms of being able to, rotate and get priority. And the other one is south of, or north of No Name, actually. I think that's the one that they potentially should have gone for, but they are playing just for Overlook at the moment.
They did at the very beginning. They did play a little split off, so that way they could at least get that Evo Harvester once it became online there. And then we saw them actually just reunite together over by Overlook. And I don't expect them to be moving because they are one of the teams with the Watsons. We've seen a lot of Watsons, obviously, in this lobby, but they're going to be bunkered down and preventing other squads from trying to get control over that ring console by Overlook. And so many other teams have already gotten ahead of the curve and trying to rotate here. You can see LG with Funk is literally one, but the gold knockdown onto Sweet. He gets taken out first, and that's a really bad sign here with KCP looking to see if they can capitalize off of this.
Just looking at the furrow in Sykes' brow there, he's worried. This is not a good situation for Luminosity to be finding themselves in so early, especially when they're... they're in 4th spot right now. They're looking pretty good to make it into Sunday. And I don't know if we've talked about this enough, Vicky. Getting top 9 is important.
Yeah.
If you make it into the LCQ, if you're in that bottom 11, not a good place to be. Only 2 teams out of 20 make it out of the LCQ. You just don't want to put yourself in that situation.
It's so incredibly brutal, but it's also the insane advantage that teams that have that extra data just watch and figure out what they want to do to approach the teams that will make it out is something else. And Falcons now coming up from behind the chaos that we just saw from Luminosity earlier, coming up from Countdown, but Falcons lose out on Jen originally, but Zero with the hip fire, with the Hemlock shots, is able to take down Sykes. You talk about the morale that was shown on Sykes' face there too, but they completely just encapsulated on top of him, while Funk, none of my business. He is out of there. He's hasta la vista for real now, going towards Lava Fisher, seeing what he could get done here.
Oh no. Okay, just gets another smoke up in time here to be able to try and get the next res onto Jen Burton. That was an uncharacteristic miss on the spray there from Jen. I mean, we saw that from his point of view. Obviously, he has been slapping today, but that was not the spray he was looking for.
Is Aurora with the red Evo already, by the way? Very quick, with the round 1 not even done closing. And that's the fact that they do land in Skyhook, but you can imagine what they were able to take advantage of. There was a survey in Grandma's house. They probably were able to get information over by Skyhook, or maybe even a vault key. That also gives you some extra Evo Shield points as well. with Kazakh having that red Evo, you already know he's got that purple perk on the lifeline, probably already put it down, has a gold knockdown, the gold bag here too. That's the perks of having the vault already open. Great call out right there as Team Liquid also flying in from the skies right on top of GK.
Yeah, and that's gold-plated, right? You can see the Kazakhs already picked up that upgrade on level 3, and then, yeah, just catapulting themselves to level 4 with the Evo cache that it does allow you. Disguised, picking up that Sentinel. Always popping the cells just to try and make it a little bit more deadly. Actually, one of the things I only just found out from one of our other customers the other day is that the charging also increases the projectile size.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Of the Sentinel, which makes it even easier to hit the shots.
I love this little overhead, guys. LG is currently respawning Sykes and Sweet. It is not over for the LG squad. And even called it an evac tower from Countdown here. Maybe trying to wrap around in the safer approach. This is early circle, obviously. This first ring here that's closing. So they could take a slower approach through Skyhook if they wanted to, and maybe even come up from behind Aurora.
Okay, where's the zone going? Does it go towards the tunnel? That's going to be my call. And you can call me a fool in 2 seconds if I'm wrong, but I should have asked you to make the prediction, Vicky, because you're the one who's smashing it out of the park today. But look, actually a bit more towards Overlook. You know, potentially could keep going down towards those tunnel entrances. I think I'm just calling for that because I enjoy those circles. I find it quite fun when you get to play sort of bottom and no name and up above the vault tunnel.
And then see all the teams are going to fight for their lives when they come out of like the vault tunnel area as well from the Geyser side. A lot of areas to coexist, but that's also why we highlighted Guild and their positioning early on. Not only is that their POI, but having the ring console, they're just going to be camping that the whole time, you know? Something that characters that could scan the survey beacons don't have that luxury like that, where you could only do that with Control Legends and ring consoles.
Nah, it's a fantastic point. You know, we were looking at it. Do they play for Ghost Town? Do they go north? But yeah, you're right. They just want to stay on that ring console in order to essentially sort of play like an edge team in terms of, you know, scanning ring 3, ring 4 information and then making their move off that. It's just that you don't often get circles where you can just sit on a ring console all day. Usually those sight lines are compromised in some way, but not here.
Makers also kind of taking a look at the ring console over by Geyser, although I do believe this circle is going to be benefiting the likes of Guild, or even the squads have already called out No Name here. A lot of open area though, so if this does pull away from Guild, you could expect them to be in a tough position with Red Rams being right behind them. I like how we get to now take a look at teams like Aurora that we know like to play by the edge, but Luminosity slowly figuring out their footing again after having a very rough start, losing out on Sweet earlier, which also means they lost out on the gold knockdown that Sweet had in the very beginning. Oh, they just flew in right on top of them. Oh no! No, not on a silver platter on top of Aurora. Sykes can't catch a break.
Yep, that's another death in the tally in the column there for Sykes, unfortunately. They're not down and out yet. As you can see, Funk's still up at the top. Zone is very quickly going to start causing problems for him. He's got one syringe left. It's this fight or it's nothing, and it is nothing for Luminosity. Aurora, they're sitting in number 4. They're having a good time. Oi Rain cackling to himself.
When you start off the game like that, if you're looking at Luminosity, I feel like you already know, like, it's just a downfall of momentum. You know, it's just when you start off super rough, get the res, but you're forced to expend your meds, and you don't have a lot to work with in terms of loot. Then you have to play out of the circle, and then you get gate kept by what you could expect Aurora, right? Because they were rotating north the whole time. A team that likes to play edge. Very capable here as RC having the height right now. Krompu with the pressure on the knuckle cluster. And he's also going to be able to get some more information, but they ran the risk looking at Aurora, playing off this low ground, the mother low, keeping them entrapped.
Yeah, look, evac tower not required here. The other team in such a small area that the Fuse ultimate will very easily lock them in. They try and get out on the zipline. It actually works. Wow, that's crazy. I mean, they just got over the top of the grenades, the mother load.
Sorry, I see them zip through the zip line for free. Like, I mean, okay, to be fair, they are fast. You do have to try to track them a little bit quicker. The ring sometimes, too, could obscure your vision the way that they try to go into that zone. But there's also, like, two teams ready to gatekeep Aurora right now. I'm talking about KCP, Disguise, who are lingering by Fragment at the moment. This is even more pressure as you take a look. KCP noting this. Have one med kit here, but also taking their time.
Now, this could help Aurora. If Pioneers and Disguise take a little bit too long to deal with each other here, Aurora may have a window of opportunity to get back in the zone. You saw they were fairly low on meds as this fight starts in earnest. Design goes down first and he's relying on Q here to buy them some time as they get the reset, and it works.
Double reset. Okay, Design, though, going in to try to get the re-knock out here, too. And then on the outskirts, in the line of sight of Evos. Disguise now fighting their way and managing to get some space here, too. Evos, they could take what they could get right now. They're backing away without trying to overcommit, because guess what? Aurora is now showing face.
Aurora's here, and you can see they're on the wrong side of Disguised attention at the moment.
Well, Evos is still over by the distance with the alley-oop, still taking shots at the stragglers on the outskirts of the train station. Aurora in a lot of trouble, but still managing to stay alive.
There's 5 different teams here. There's currently 5 teams in Fragment. The zone's not
They got the res.
particularly close.
They got the res at least. They did lose out on one from Aurora, but Lifefront staying alive from Kazak is going to be able to get the res into the Bang. The Bang now is able to put down the ults. And you can hear the portal coming in from Design. Where do they go when there is 5 other teams in this pathing into the next zone?
Okay, portal is very good here. That was a perfect time to use that. And they actually rock up and find themselves in the spot next to Evo's Predators here. So that's a nice little pickup.
Even worse if you're Aurora still trying to fight your way as a duo into that next circle. Disguise waiting for you by the train tracks. Reject also looking at you from the high ground that exits out of Epi. Evos playing off the little lip of the rock, though, in a bit of a difficult spot, aside from the natural landform, because you still have Gaming Gladiators behind you by the train track, by the train car. GK now move in with the alternator. Gold knock, though, not going to help him out here. Racky's the last one alive, one shot. And GK Esports get eliminated with Disguise, only having Design to work his magic.
GK right on the bubble as well, 10th spot. Every point is extremely important to the mostly Australian team, the APAC South team there. So they will go out, but there's still 2 more matches for them to make that difference.
Same thing with Disguise, with only Design alive, sitting in 8th here. Evos also needing all these extra points. Can they pop it off? The triple take, the hip fire shots, it's not going to be enough. The Bangalore ult coming in to eliminate Crazy Raccoon. Evos Esports, Design is still alive for his team.
It's Design and Design alone, Vicky, and that's not enough. You need to be keeping them all up and running, and they just can't do it. Guild Esports, in the meantime, have used the ring console for probably the last time to start heading up north, where they can deal with, say, Red Rams, who are still in Overlook in the village. Or, I know we haven't seen much of them so far this game yet, Vicky, but just in case you were wondering, Falcon's probably in God's spot.
I mean, I'm not too surprised. Why not, right? Why not? They just walk through, taking their time. And although this entire zone here is very scattered with the amount of teams holding on to each corner without actually committing into a circle like this. And it's what we mentioned before. It's very out in the open as NIP gets sent right back to the lobby. 11 squads left with the flyby to really highlight the pressure. And I talked about the Skies before because they're sitting in 9th place, Genome. There's only 2 more games after this left.
Every one of those teams around that 9th, 10th, 8th spot, they have to be worried about every single point that they're getting. So yeah, Design, if he can just eke out 1 or 2 placement points here, it's a big deal.
And he barely has any ammo here too. Well, Fennel forced their way inside this train car. They're getting pinged though in the distance. The third party, Twisted Minds, moving in. Design, trying to capitalize. He needs extra loot. Hell, they see him in the corner. All right, can't be slick here, even though you put down your portal. See him fixing his glasses here in the cam. Striking Flame still alive with player K, who's able to pop this med kit.
He survives that tiny bit longer, though. He gets that one extra place, 2 placement points in total there for Designful. So, look, he's done the job and probably as much as you could have asked for him in that situation. Okay, we've dealt with all of the madness down on the south side towards Ghost Town. Now we are going to move up to where the real business is going to happen, the north of this map, up above the tunnel. We're seeing Twisted Minds here try and grab a res. Can Strafing find the time to lay a smoke down and get that one off?
That looked terrifying from Twisted Minds' point of view. And even like a mother load on the other side from another team. I think that was Red Rams right behind Reject. Reject were like, all right, they want to go for the res. They dropped down from the high ground. But do they really want to close in this gap with FaZe? Also looking at Guild and E-Cholos. That's happening on the other side of the zone from what we saw from Reject and Twisted Minds. Oh, Strafing Flame! Reject get eliminated! Twisted Minds as a duo take care of Reject, and Strafing Flame had an insane nade in the feed.
And that means they should have bought the space. Yes, they have. Easy Flash is back in, and Twisted Minds are back on the menu. They've got a lot of space to themselves. Most of the other teams towards the eastern side of this map. The other 5 squads over there, Falcons now moving up north to buy some space of their own.
As we tune into FaZe, looking at Guild, Red Rams on the other side though, getting crack after crack, every knock onto Legacy. Jesco, 5 spots up and looking behind you. Nags gets beamed. He needs some suppressed fire, but they were too fixated on the team to their left without looking who was right behind them.
Yeah, Guild and Red Rams all of a sudden being a problem for FaZe, and can Empty get Legacy back up? No! It's a top 4. That's minimum 5 placement points here, but they would have hoped to convert a little more from this overlook zone.
Oh, he still got him.
Oh,
all right. Hold on, he still got him though. You know, at least one more.
He gets the fist bump, and you know what? They deserve it, because as we just say that, they do, yeah, they make something out of that situation. Anyway, final 3v3. Team Falcons, Twisted Mind, #1 versus #2 right now.
I've seen this before here. Team Falcons looking to finally engage, and Twisted Minds down a member already. Player K working off of the gold knock.
Let's not forget, it was Legends Gaming that ruined things at Overlook at Split 1 playoffs for Falcons in this exact spot. Can they do it again?
History repeats itself, though. It's a trade-off from both sides, with Zero going down. How clearing space with the knuckle cluster. Here he slides through. How can he do it? He is one. He gets one knock. Playing off the knockdown. He has to try to get the reset.
Oh my God.
Look at this. Oh no, the reload. He fails to do it, but even better for your second place team, Twisted Minds, to get the dub with 92